The course that I'm talking about is a class that I teach for Hutton Honors. It's a writing intensive class that is entitled Crisis and Culture in the Late Antique and Medieval Mediterranean. So we read stories about people going through horrible, horrible things, war, personal loss, the loss of a child, and we talk about how their writing is influenced by those points of crisis. But more importantly, we use a lot of in-class active learning techniques. We don't do a lot of lecture, so we use map creation, we use digital humanities tools like text mining and topic modeling. Ultimately, there's one really sort of overarching thing that governs what I'm doing, which is that I want to integrate what they're doing inside the classroom with what they're doing outside of the classroom. And that makes it easier, Canvas makes it easier for me to do that. There are three things that I've used. I've used the really nice pages and multimedia editing features. I've used the assignments tool, and now I'm using the peer review portion of that. The combination of those three things has really let me bring the active learning that we do in class to the students when they're in their dorm rooms and vice versa. From a purely time-saving perspective, the Pages tool has given me something that I couldn't do in the old system, which is update something live and have them refresh the page in Canvas and see what I've just added. So if we're doing something active in class, if we're going to Twitter or we're doing an activity that requires them to go to a particular URL, I can add that live at any point in the class period, so I can sort of talk about stuff, we can work through what we want to do, and then I can add it and have them refresh so they don't have access. I can control their access to some of the things that we work with. And that has given us the ability to sort of shape what we do in class and then have that reflected on the homepage of the Canvas course in really nice ways. We can also take pictures of or document what we do in class, and I can add those at the end of class so that when they go home, they have access to the activities that we did in class as they think through the writing assignments that they're doing outside of class. So for example, we did a mapping exercise for the Third Crusade. I've done it a couple of different ways. One semester I did it with Google Map projected onto a whiteboard, and they used whiteboard pens to mark up the sort of GIS stuff that we would normally do with by dropping pins in Google. And we took pictures of that and then posted that to the Canvas page. This semester I actually had them use Google, so I posted 3 or 4 resources that were online to the Canvas page that they could use as they were working through the adding of GIS coordinates to a Google map. And then we posted the Google map to Canvas, linked to it, so that they could play with it both on the overhead projector in the classroom and on their individual laptops, both in class and at home. And then we talked about how that changed their perspective of the physical environment the Third Crusade was in and what that changed for them about the kinds of experiences that the author was talking about. So that's one of the big things. It's just that Pages tool and the ease of use in terms of updating pages is a big deal. I also used, for the first time this semester, the multimedia tool. I had students do, after the first day of class at home, an introduction video, because Canvas has that really nice little make a video link. They don't actually have to think about it. They don't have to learn anything new. They can just push a button. So they did an introduction video that was, I think, 45 or 50 seconds long. I asked them to use the discussion forum to post it and then to respond to 2 videos. So when they came back into class the second day of class, they had met 2 of their classmates outside of class. And that actually made it much easier for us to get into a discussion the second day of class when they're still normally sort of a little bit worried. And the comfort that gives them with each other makes the kinds of things I do in my classroom, the interactive mapping, all that other stuff, much, much more effective. And the last piece of it is the peer review, which now I've started doing because I didn't have the ability to give them easy access to each other's assignments in our previous learning management system. So I used blogs. And that was great, but it didn't give us as much control over how they responded. So now I have peer reviews set up so they can go in, respond to each other's work really, really easily, and again, in multimedia form if they choose to do so, if they're more comfortable talking or video recording than they are typing. So we start out the semester with a syllabus that looks a lot like anybody else's. It's got a list of reading assignments, it's got a list of the kinds of writing assignments they'll be doing. But as we go through the semester, I've used the Pages tool in Canvas to create a home page for the course. And on one side is that standard static syllabi stuff. On the other side are the things that we add throughout the semester. So they define the kinds of things that they're interested in outside of the classroom. What do they read? What do they watch? What kinds of things interest them in their recreational activities? And we create theme groups, and they write on those theme groups all semester. So that's the first thing that we add. So they're really shaping the class as we go. And then each time we do an activity in class, we post that in the column on the right-hand side that goes with all the static syllabus assignments. And that way, the Canvas homepage really becomes a sort of central clearinghouse. Everything we do, the first thing we do in class is open up the Canvas homepage. When they go home, if they need notes, they have those notes that we created in class on the Canvas homepage accessible to them. And it changes every week.